All right, welcome to the first episode of I Am Atomic Masters Democrat. I am Atomic Masters Republican. Now, this site or channel was created way back in April 25th, 2024. So you see that I haven't progressed very much on actually recording the channel. Uh, And so tonight I decided I was going to make the first episode, no matter what it was, no matter whatever's going on with here. So if you look at the screen, you can see this description. And this description hasn't changed since I created the channel way back in April of 2024. So it always was meant to be I am Atomic Masters Democrat, I am Atomic Master Republican. But I will say that I initially had named it I am Atomic Masters Democrat uh, because it was a lot easier to go into the YouTube channel. When Charlie Kirk was killed, I added the Republican on it initially, or I added the Republican on it just because I wanted to make it clear that I consider myself both a Republican and a Democrat. Actually, I consider myself a independent. I've always been independent as such, but I recognize that the way the politics works in this country, that if you're going to get elected, or you probably need to be part of one party or the other party. And one of the reasons that I named it Democrat Republican is because there are two camps in here. And one of the things that I have always found annoying while I was campaigning, and most of the time I campaigned for city offices, which are nonpartisan, but people would always ask if I was a Democrat or a Republican. I'd tell them I was an independent, but it'd be interesting that often I'd be telling them about what my policies are here or there, and then the person will say, "I'll not vote for you. You're a Democrat," or talk to somebody else and say, "I'll not vote for you because you're a Republican," right? And so I have no problem in saying that uh, your traditional Democrats and your traditional Republicans were 80% the same party. And so I was mostly Republican or mostly Democrat because they were mostly the same. And a lot of people didn't like that, and they would say, "Oh, it's all one party like there," and they would just have little nuances. But to me, that's what made this country the best economic and the best moral and really the best country to live in uh, my entire life, as a matter of fact, right? Is that we were talking about nuances. We weren't letting the far left or the far right uh, hold the conversations in the country, right? Because the best policies are really distinguished by nuances. There's rarely something that's way out there, wildly different that would make the country better. Now, there are certainly sometimes other approaches that you can do, and they are wildly different. But for the most part, there's a reason that we were the best country and always have been the best country uh, in the world, even in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and as such. The United States has always been, especially in my lifetime, the best place to live. So, uh, one of the reasons that I've tried to create this uh, channel is because I don't want people to be able to use, "Oh, you're a Democrat," as a way to stop a conversation, or "You're a Republican," and stop a conversation. I think more people should be uh, willing to say that they're one or the other, but they're willing to listen to the other side as well. So when I say I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, I will say that I always been an 80% Republican, always been an 80% Democrat. For the traditional uh, Democrats, Republicans, I'm probably at least a 50% Libertarian, and now a 30 to 40% MAGA person. So, uh, that's about where I am now. One of the things that I've always said, and one of the things that I wanted to avoid when I started this thing was to not say negative about one part or the other, but I have to say that usually when I talk about uh, Republicans, I'll say most of everything that you talk about, big uh, top level characteristics or top level titles, um, right on board with everything in line with the what Republicans normally say, right? And I've always said that, okay, uh, especially economically, free markets, lower taxes, less government as much as possible, for the most part, right? But typically, you hear them on a top level and they're really good. And then for some odd reason, when they get in power and they start employing them, they throw in the little uh, things that will make it so that it's not the best policy itself. It's something that will help their little group. So when you say, oh, I'm for free markets, but then they throw in a little poison pill in there that isn't right. And and a lot of times in the Democrat things, I am more socially liberal than a lot of type things. And quite frankly, I'm not scared of the same changes for industry differences, right? I think that you had an industry that was basically fossil fuel friendly, and that's fine when that was the way to go. But I think we could be doing a lot better with a lot of the renewable energies, and just that's another type of industry that could be doing well. So uh, when I talk about Democrats or I talk about Republicans, I will uh, say some negative things about both, but the fact of the matter is, I am more than happy to be either a Democrat or a Republican. So I set that alarm on there so that I would stick to 7 minutes for this introduction, because my computer will tend to stop everything that I've talked about if I don't. So I will now end the first episode of I Am a Tom McMasters, Democrat and Republican. And I'll try to do more of these often, as a matter of fact.